the controller abuse, the completely necessary bullying, the IGN reviews, the long, sleepless nights from the pressure of knowing I'm in the top 20% has all led to this very moment. Defeating the icon of sin. The final sin has been the end of many runs, the end of many epic gamers, as shown to us by this completely up-to-date and accurate chart. But really the level is just paying attention, not cornering yourself, running out of ammunition, or worse, playing like upper echelon gaming. But if you're still worried, don't be. Today I'm going to be walking you through every single fight in this level to help prepare you for the trials ahead. Objectively speaking, this is one of the easiest levels, contrary to what this clip shows. But for whatever reason, if you end up dying, you can always go back and go through the entire playlist for every single level. I'm joking, but let's just get started. So right off the bat, I mean, if you guys have played the game, you shouldn't be starting an Ultra Nightmare, so you should have played the game already. So you should know this level is basically a miniature master level. Right off the bat, you're going to be dealing with a pretty sizable fight. There's going to be a bunch of fodder demon, there's going to be an arachnotron on the left-hand side, there's also going to be a revenant and a cackle demon on the right hand side. Now someone told me you can actually hang back, not dash across, and just snipe everything with the precision bolt, which if you want to, go ahead. I've never tried it, I can't speak for it, but someone recommended that. I figured I would just share that with you. Now whenever I run through this fight, I always do random stuff, normally going straight up the middle, cutting right, and then going back left, but I think the safest route would to be the other way around. Go left, deal with the arachnotron, maybe ice bomb him, utilize the jump pad that's right above him to kind of keep you in a suspended elevated position, raining down super shock and ballistic combination on him. By that time, the cacodemon from the right hand side is going to be pressuring you. You can take care of him with a quick sticky bomb or an arbalist shot like I did there. And then I go and finish off that revenant. Once that revenant's taken care of, you have a short amount of time to take out a handful of fodder demon, which is then in turn going to trigger the next wave of heavy demons, which consists of a cyber mancubus, a mancubus, a carcass, and a hell knight. Also, quick call back to hell on earth strategy here. Since there are zombies, you can automatically put them in a glory kill by sticky bombing the floor next to them, which is what I did here. Sticky bomb the floor between the two of those, hit them with the flame belch, glory killed them. That refilled my blood punch, gave me armor, and gave me health. So it's a win-win. Don't forget that's a good tactic if you find yourself low on health, armor, or blood punch. But going back to the cyber mancubus and all the other heavy demons that are spawned here, the cyber mancubus spawns where the arachnotron was killed. The hell knight enters the arena from the same spot you entered the arena from, while the mancubus and the carcass are on the right hand side of the arena. The general best form of advice I can give you for this fight and really any other fight ahead of you is to try and isolate the heavy demons and take them out methodically. I deal with the hell knight instantly with my 3 chainsaw pickups. I was going to focus on the carcass, but the mancubus decided he wanted some of this, and then he got folded like a lawn chair. After that, I finished off the carcass, and that spawned in a baron of hell. As long as you keep your distance, they're really not that much of a problem either. Again, there's so many launch pads in this fight that really you can be as elusive as you want. Using launch pads, your dash ability, and of course the shield mod from the chain gun, you can almost deal with this fight entirely defensive, although I wouldn't recommend that. Just as long as you have a handful of fodder demon around you, you can always recuperate your health, your armor, and even your blood punch. But after that Baron of Hell is taken care of, in this order, the demons are going to be spawning in a whiplash, another prowler, a pain elemental. At the same time as a pain elemental, another revenant is going to spawn, 2 whiplashes, and at least another prowler or 2. Now don't forget, if you're someone that likes to use super weapons, you have a BFG shot you can use if you want to do that. But in my case, I'd much rather save that stuff for later fights, and I would prioritize the pain elemental and the revenant because I'm someone that likes to stay suspended in the air. The 2 of those are bigger threats to me. After that, I'd focus more on the whiplash and aggressive demons on the ground. Now once you take out all these heavy demons, the tyrant is going to spawn over here. You can take him out with a quick crucible hit, that's the way you want to go, or you can do what I do here, which is a giant mouthful. So it's meat hook, ice bomb, grenade, shotgun, ballista shot, lock on burst, meat hook, super shotgun, ballista, super shotgun, glory kill. It looks like a very long combo, but this is it in normal speed. Once the tyrant's taken care of, you're going to go over here to the right hand side. There's going to be a Doom Hunter that now spawned. At this point in the game, you should have both your blood punches, ideally both of them charged up as well. You're going to hit the Doom Hunter's sled with 2 blood punches. That's going to eliminate the sled, and then you could just finish him off with the super shock and ballista combination that everyone uses as a handicap. Once the Doom Hunter's taken care of, you're now going to be moving on to the next area. If you know how to meat hook, you can meat hook this demon right here, skipping this entire area. When you make it to the other side, you're supposed to be faced against a mancubus, a prowler, some fodder demons, demon. And for whatever reason, in this clip, none of that was there for me, which is a little disappointing in terms of the guide. But what I would say is, if the Mancubus is there for you, don't go past this portion of the room. If you get too close to the opposite side of the hallway, you're going to trigger the Prowler and some extra fodder demon to spawn in. You also may get pressured by the Arachnotron and Pinky that's on the other side of that room, around the corner. So just to make it easier on you, with the Mancubus here, stay in this area. If anything, you can always ice bomb him to neutralize him, and then maybe run circles around him with a meat hook if you're still struggling. But you're going to take care of that Mancubus, you're going to push forward, you're going to deal with a Prowler and some fodder demon that spawns out of this hole in the building here. And then to your left, there's going to be an Arachnotron and a Pinky. Pretty easy fight if you're dealing with it bit by bit. I'd recommend also, before moving on, there's a lot of fodder demon. Maybe if you can, hit a group of them with an ice bomb, and then follow that up with a flame belch and a grenade. That'll replenish all of your health, all of your armor, and if your sentinel crystals are maxed out, that extra health line on the ground is going to go towards charging up your blood punch. Moving on to the next area, you're going to come across a very small encounter that's going to be involving a Hell Knight, a Carcass, and a Revenant. Again, at this point in time, with you being maxed out with all your sentinel crystals and all the earlier fights before, you should already know how to deal with this very basic fight. Just know though, a ballista shot to the face is an instant glory kill for the Carcass. Moving on to the next section, this is the area where you're basically going to have to deal with 2 floors of demons and a buff totem. So what I like to do is, as soon as I come in this area, I hover in this lobby, clear out all the fodder demon, but keep my eye on the hallway to my right hand side, because that's where that buff totem is going to be. As soon as it spawns, you want to immediately take it out, and after you do that, there's always going to be a Pinky that spawns right here in this doorway. Just deal with him with a blood punch. The rest of these demons are essentially just going to be fodder until you head up the stairs, and then there's going to be a Dread Knight that spawns directly in front of you and a Mancubus to your left. Again, Mancubi aren't that much of a threat from a distance, so I very strongly recommend you prioritizing that Dread Knight. If you need to, hit him with an ice bomb, lock on burst from the rocket launcher, and then a ballista shot. When you head around the corner, there's going to be a Cyber Mancubus and an Arachnotron that's going to be confronting you. A lock on burst from the rocket launcher would immediately put the Arachnotron in a glory kill, and then you have all the freedom to focus exclusively on that Cyber Mancubus. And you might be wondering, well, why doesn't he show it in the gameplay? Well, my dumbass thought of that post-editing, but it makes more sense. If you're someone that's struggling or panicking, that's an easier way to do it. You can also try to ice bomb the Arachnotron, throw in that lock-on mod, and then a ballista shot, and that'll immediately kill the Arachnotron. After this, you're going to be moving on to the roof, where you're going to be coming across the very first Marauder of this level. That is after, of course, you take out the Revenant, the Cackle Demon, the Arachnotron, and some fodder demon. Now, Super Shotgun and ballista shot to the face immediately puts the Revenant in a glory kill, but I messed myself up and launched myself at the bottom here, so what I ended up doing was Arbalist to the Cackle Demon, ice bombed the Arachnotron and the Cackle Demon, took care of both of those, finished off the Revenant, and then took care of the remaining fodder demon. After that, you're going to Crucible the Marauder. I'm kidding, that doesn't work. But when the Marauder spawns, there's going to be a Revenant that spawns with him. I'd recommend you prioritizing that Revenant, getting rid of him ASAP, so that way you can focus on just the Marauder. Some nice one-on-one attention. After this, you're going to be launched to the roof's roof, and you're going to skip the next 2 small encounters. I never pay him any mind, but if you do need extra health, ammo, armor, anything like that, then by all means feel free to utilize your glory kills, your chainsaws, your flame belch, whatever you need to get your resources back up. Because the next area you're coming across is the big room where eventually, when everything is tallied up, you're going to be facing 3 tyrants and a bunch of other random ass demons thrown at you. So right off the bat, what I recommend is go ahead and fire off a BFG blast. Try to make it above where I shot, because that way it can travel a little further. But the reason why I recommend a BFG blast is because you want to clear out all the extra demons. And by firing off a BFG shot, you're not only clearing out all the extra demons, but you're triggering that Baron of Hell to already spawn. So now you have 2 demons, which is the Tyrant and the Baron, that you can focus on. And even though I'm constantly chipping away at the Tyrant's health here, I'm only really doing that because the BFG doesn't do that much damage to him. And once the Baron dies, or once the Tyrant dies, I want to be able to kill them back to back, which in this clip I was able to achieve. But keep in mind though, when the Tyrant dies, the next Tyrant and the next wave of heavy demons are going to spawn. So I recommend immediately after killing at least the Tyrant, move up to the second story floor here, deal with that Cackle Demon that spawns, and then turn over here and deal with the buff totem. I like being in this position because it allows me to knock out that buff totem before it really becomes a problem, while letting everything basically funnel to me. If I end up getting pressured too much, I can drop off the back side here where the buff totem was, which I end up doing just that and firing off an extra BFG shot shot to get rid of all that extra demons, allowing me the opportunity to deal with the last 2 tyrants, which if you have a crucible charge saved up, by all means feel free to use the crucible. I just obviously don't pull it out that much. But I would say in this fight, weirdly enough, the tyrants are low priority. They're giant, easy targets that are very slow moving. In my opinion, you have higher chances of dying from the arachnotrons, the cacodemons, the pinkies, and stuff like that. So focus on those before focusing on the tyrants, unless you want to get rid of them very quickly with a crucible hit. And again, use glory kills and chainsaws tactically. Remember, during those animations, you're invulnerable. Those are prime opportunities for you to gain situational awareness, understand what's around you. If you're being surrounded, maybe chainsaw a demon or perform a glory kill, so that way while everything is repositioning around you, you can see an exit out of a potentially dangerous situation. You don't want to get cornered after all. Not to mention, you get that extra speed boost if you have the blood field rune active. Chainsaws, glory kills attribute to that speed boost, so it's all around just a good idea to, even if you're not low on ammo, take advantage of that. But after you clear out this bottom floor and make your way over to the higher levels, these other demons are going to spawn: a Revenant, a Hell Knight, an Arachnotron, and another Baron of Hell. You can actually bypass these demons, make a beeline for the staircase, pick up this BFG shot, and as soon as you enter this room, all these demons behind you are going to die. And even if they don't, the BFG shot we're about to fire will kill them. Immediately after firing that BFG, you're going to focus on those 2 pain elementals and grab that extra BFG shot in the center of the arena. Once the 2 pain elementals are killed, right where that BFG shot was, a marauder is going to spawn. At this point in time, the only thing besides you and the marauder is a bunch of fodder demons, so you should be okay. As I talked about earlier, if you're being pressured or if you need a moment to breathe, glory kill or chainsaw the fodder demon to give you that small momentary relief. I would suggest though, while you're fighting that marauder, try to stay close to this area right here, or at least be within an eye distance, because as soon as the marauder's killed, an archvile is going to spawn, which I recommend immediately eliminating with the crucible hit. And now we're pretty much ready for the final sin. You can clear out this room of the remaining fodder demon for some extra health, armor, ammo, anything like that. There's going to be a small portion of platforming, and then you're going to come across this highway that's broken down. I always skip this entire area. It's up to you if you want to sit around and fight them. Again, if you're losing resource, maybe try to recuperate some of your resources here, but I always just try to bypass them as quickly as possible, which a good idea is meat hooking them and then just dashing. And now we're on to the icon of sin fight, which let me cover the basics in the beginning. What you want to do is constantly stay on the move. Don't pay any mind to any of the demons. There's so many blood punches and crucible pickups for you to snag in this arena, and of course there's portals and jump pads you can use. You're always basically going to be out of the demon's reach, so none of them are really your priority. If they end up getting too close or blocking your path or anything like that, you can always pull out a crucible and end that one right there on the spot. Not to mention, there are at least 2 chainsaw pickups that, if I'm not mistaken, constantly regenerate, just like the crucible and blood punch pickups. So you can always grab those, and instead of utilizing the crucible, you can chainsaw them for that blood fueled speed boost and some of your ammunition back. There are also 3 BFG ammo pickups, which come in handy because every BFG shot you land is going to immediately eliminate one of the Icon of Sin's piece of armor. The only problem with that is you have to time it and gauge it just right, because with the BFG traveling so slow, you do run the potential of missing your shot. One other giant piece of information I want to tell you before walking you through this fight is the shield mod on the chain gun comes in handy. Again, even though it looks like it covers you just from the front, in the campaign it is a bubble, so whenever you're getting punched or slammed on by the Icon of Sin, instead of receiving any kind of damage, you're basically just going to be thrown. So using that right before getting hit or landing on any type of fire or anything like that is definitely helpful. Anyway, starting this up, if you already have a BFG shot, that is perfect. You can either go through the portal on your left hand side like I do here, or you can take the jump pad that's dead center. And what I like to do with this first BFG shot is I always aim for his stomach, and then the follow-up hit is on his head because he's already stunned. His head's actually the easiest to hit, with his stomach objectively being, besides the arms, the hardest, because you got to be kind of closer to land those shots perfectly. Anyways, first 2 BFG shots is stomach and then the head or the chest. After that, I like to come down here and kill zombies with the heavy cannon. It's maxed out, so if you kill demons with the base fire and then use micro missiles, you get a fire rate and damage boost. And then again, because it's maxed out, I don't have a cooldown. I could spray it all I want. The only risk here is running out of ammunition or getting cornered because I'm so focused on spraying at him, which is another thing. You don't want to get so caught up spraying at the icon of sin that you lose track of what's around you. You'll notice throughout these clips I'm constantly utilizing, again, the jump pads, the portals. Even if I don't necessarily need to use them, it's a good idea to constantly go through them to keep the demons a step or two behind me. And I think really and truly that's the biggest thing. You just want to know how to move around the arena. Very rarely do I go up the center, or even during this fight. I love to use the meat hook, and I don't use it at all during this fight. My means of movement strictly are the jump pads and the portals. So utilize the BFG to knock out pieces of armor instantly. We focus on the fodder demon with the base heavy cannon shots to give us that boost that we're going to use for the micro missiles on the other pieces of armor for the icon of sin, and just constantly stay on the move. If you end up getting cornered or run into any demons, that's when you want to use the crucible or 3 chainsaw pickups on them, but beyond that, they are not your priority. Now, as far as the second phase goes, it's basically, again, going to be the same thing. There are 3 more BFG pickups in this arena. You, again, want to use those on parts that you want to eliminate immediately. Ideally, I'd say go for the arms because those are the hardest ones. But again, those are the ones that you're most likely going to miss. So by all means, if that's what you want to go for, feel free. But I would wait until he's doing this attack right here where he's not moving to try and aim for those arms. That window of opportunity is also very small. But the method of operations here is still the same. BFG for instant eliminations on his pieces of flesh, heavy cannon on the fodder demon, and then the buffed micro missiles on the icon of sin. Although this section does require a little bit more alertness, as I found myself getting overrun or ambushed or running into demons much more frequently. So you are probably going to have to rely on the crucible a little bit more, but again, you still can for the most part stay out of the demon's reach, especially the slower moving ones like Mancubi, Cacodemons, and Pain Elementals. I mean, I know Cacodemons got that dash, but as long as they're more or less further away, the arena's large enough for you to really not pay them any mind. If they get too close, you can always crucible them or even chainsaw them. Just like the first stage, there's about 2 or 3 chainsaw pickups in this stage. But I'd say awareness of where demons are is your biggest priority, and then focusing on the icon of sin is second. But after working the icon of sin down for what shouldn't be too long, if you successfully landed all 3 of your BFG shots, you did it. The icon of sin is finally dead. A long 20-hour ordeal of constant trial and error probably, but now you can finally show off that gold ass that you got just in time for the DLC. Congratulations. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. If you guys have any extra tips, tricks on specific arenas, or even the final icon of sin fight, feel free to share that stuff down below. In these guides, I try to pin the most helpful comment as soon as I see it anyways, so there's some extra incentive to try and be nice to everybody. But let me know, what was the most rewarding level or fight that you completed in your Ultra Nightmare run? And how do you guys feel about the upcoming DLC? Lastly, I just wanted to shout this out. I don't do this often, but if you guys do enjoy this content, I try to be as thorough with my videos as much as I possibly can. Maybe consider supporting me on my OnlyFans on Patreon. That way I can dedicate more time and effort in all of the videos. I mean, I'm still gonna make them, but the financial support, the financial independence will definitely speed up that process. And of course, like always, if you guys haven't joined the Discord yet, link to that is always down below. It's back to being a Wild West and not a heavily policed state like it was for the last couple of days. Like always, guys, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this did help you guys out. Hopefully the entire guides did as well. The entire playlist you can always find on my channel. But until next time, I will see y'all later.